All right, obviously got beaten every way you can get beat. Very disappointed with that. Did not expect to see that. Thought we'd play a lot better than that based on the way we practiced. And hats off to them. They played a really good game, made a bunch of plays, did a great job on first down. We did not. Built a rhythm really throughout the game. We did not. So just a complete disappointment. And we're going to have to find a way to turn it around and figure out who we are this next week and then into the bye and after the bye. We're going to have more than half the season left, and we're going to have to find ourselves. So that's what our aim will be going forward. What questions you have?
John, when you're looking at the game, obviously, like you said, it's a disappointment. How much do you also kind of consider the guys you didn't have here, and the guys what the guys did out there on the field?
Yeah, I mean, you have to just look at the tape. I don't think we played well. I thought we would play better. I thought we would tackle better. I thought we would just play our run defense better than we did. It was not up to standard. I mean, we had good enough players out there to play a lot better than we did. It's just disappointing.
John, you mentioned you thought you practiced well this week. When you don't see that reflected in the performance, what do you do as a coaching staff then when it's not aligning with practice to the game?
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at everything. I think it starts with us as coaches. We've got to figure out how to put the guys in best positions, to make plays and do things right. There was a lot of things out there that weren't done correctly, so we've got to ask ourselves, how does that not translate to the game, number one, and then what else can we do? What else can we come up with to figure out ways to challenge people and gain some yards and get some stops?
John, did you feel there was a lack of effort or belief or buy-in or however you would want to put it?
I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that all week. I didn't feel that in the game. I think the effort was there. I just didn't think the execution was there. We didn't do what we needed to do, and it's going to have to start with us as coaches and figure it out.
When you consider where you are record-wise and also the long list of injuries and guys you need to get back, is this one of the more challenging times you can remember in your career here?
Yeah, we've had a lot of them. I think back to a lot of challenging times. I think every year had challenges, and if you look back at some of those seasons, there were stretches. None more challenging than this right now. This is the one we're in, and this is tough. But like I told the guys, this becomes a measuring stick, for all of us. So what ends up happening is when you go through situations like this, and everybody does in their life, and every team does in their their career, players and coaches and everybody else, it's how you handle it, And when people look back and say, hey, when things were the toughest, when things looked the worst, when we were at our lowest point, how did you handle it? How will you be remembered for how you handle it? And I'm looking for people to come out fighting and give their best, in those kind of situations. That's what you have to do. When you do that, you come out the other end.
You have with the lengthy list of injuries, we know that, and some you don't know who will be back and when. But what do you see as maybe the most fixable, the most quickly fixable things here?
I think fundamental football is the most quickly fixable thing, and I expect to see us play fundamentally sound football. I don't think we did that all the time today. It wasn't egregiously bad, but I mean, this run defense is it's not okay, and that's not something that should happen. So we haven't fixed that really all year yet. That's the number one thing that's got to start. You can't be letting them get the yards they're getting on first down. You can't play behind the sticks the whole game on both sides of the ball. And that's been pretty much a theme throughout the course of the whole season so far.
John, do you have to consider changes on with Zach or the defensive staff?
Yeah, you try to do the most productive things, and I do not think that that's the answer. So we got to go to work is what we need to do. We need to stick together is what we need to do, and we need to find ourselves. And it has to do with coaches and players together.
John, you talked last week about offensive play calling. How did you feel you guys adjusted this week?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the play calling wasn't really an issue. We tried to do the things that were in the game plan, and we never really generated a rhythm. We had the turnover early when we had a little bit of a drive going there. Petrie made a nice play on that flat route. That low interception hurt us. So I didn't think that was really the issue.
John, to that, obviously, Lamar is an uphill battle offensively, but just how disappointing was it to not really be able to get the run game going at all?
Yeah, it was. It was disappointing, and I give them credit for stopping it, and we've got to find a way. That kind of goes back to the fundamental football part. We got to find a way to generate that part of our game.